What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City transfer update. Remember, I'm rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the whole summer transfer window for you guys to look forward to. So if you haven't already, please do subscribe to my channel. It is free. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Do leave a thumbs up. We fell just short of 400 likes on the last video, so let's see if we can hit it in this one. 400 likes is the aim, and also don't forget as well to let me know your thoughts, what you make of these transfers in the comments below. So we're going to start this video off with some contract news, and we've got some brilliant news when it comes to Bernardo Silva. Now, Fabrizio Romano says Bernardo has verbally agreed a contract extension at Manchester City. He says it is a deal until 2026. Not 2027. So Bernardo is going to be signing a one-year extension to his current deal, which expires in June 2025, which getting Bernardo Silva on any kind of new contract to me is a big plus for Manchester City. Now, Jose Alvarez on Twitter, very interesting this. He says that Bernardo Silva, he's going to have a clause in his contract active from next summer where he can leave Manchester City for as little as 50 million euros. So for the last near 24 hours, because this news came out just after I'd uploaded yesterday, but this to me makes 0 sense to Manchester City. I understand why it makes sense to Bernardo Silva, but I don't really see what Man City are getting from this. Bernardo Silva wants to leave Manchester City. It's no secret. We know he wants to leave the club. So if he's signing a new contract extension at City, it's telling me that he's happy to stay at Manchester City for at least another year, and he's happy to more than likely see out his contract, where Man City, seemingly happy to put him on this deal, are happy for him to see out his contract until 2026. Now, the initial reports were 2027, took him to 32 years old, where he'd toddle off back to Iberia. Man City have had him during his prime years and were all good to go. And then this little bit of news comes out, so I've been trying to make some sense of 50 million euros and why that much, because right now, Bernardo has just under 2 years left on his deal. He is valued, according to Jack Gaughan, just in the last few hours, valued at somewhere between 70 to 100 million euros by Manchester City. So next summer, he will have the same amount of time on his contract as what he's got this summer, but his release clause would be 50 million euros, not 70 to 100 million euros, and therefore making it a little bit more affordable. And Bernardo Silva will be thinking, actually, it's more likely that he may be able to leave, that if he commits to signing a new deal at City, his value comes down, and obviously with him getting a year older. But to me, 50 million euros is short, and Bernardo Silva is a versatile, world-class player who, if he's valued at 70 to 100 million euros this summer, with the same amount of length on his contract for next summer, surely his value would hold something very similar to what he's valued at right now. That is a big decrease, near half of a decrease from 100 million euros to 50 million euros. So this to me benefits Bernardo Silva, but Man City are the club offering this new contract. Manchester City, we're going to be giving Bernardo Silva a pay rise. We're going to be paying him more money for him to leave for less, which doesn't make sense from a business point of view. Man City don't do rubbish business decisions, and to me, I can understand why this has come out and why Bernardo would want it. I just don't really see what the club gained from this other than security that Bernardo Silva is going to be here for another 12 months, which, quite frankly, we don't need to offer him a new deal for that to happen. You just need to say no, because no club can afford Bernardo Silva for where he wants to go. Only clubs that can afford Bernardo are Saudi Arabian clubs, and Bernardo Silva doesn't seem that keen on a move to Saudi Arabia. So it's just baffled me, absolutely baffled me. Wouldn't surprise me at all if this release clause stuff is baloney. It's made up, it's not true. It isn't coming from the most reliable of sources, so we'll see what happens with regards to this. Now, if this was in terms of Sergio Aguero news, then Jose Alvarez always spot on, but with Bernardo Silva, I have doubts, okay? I have doubts. Anyway, Moving on to the outs, we've got the very latest on James McAtee. Now, Ajax are interested in signing McAtee as he's made their short list of replacements should West Ham go and sign Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, which would replace Lucas Paqueta at West Ham, who looks set for a move to Manchester City. And there's a little bit of a transfer merry-go-round going there. So, interesting, keeping an eye on that one. Fabrizio Romano does say that Ajax have asked Manchester City about the conditions of a potential transfer for James McAtee. McAtee has a lot of interest out there. There's clubs interested on a loan deal only. There's clubs interested on either a loan or a permanent. And there's clubs out there who are only interested in a permanent transfer. So this is really interesting. I imagine any permanent sale done by City will include a sell-on fee and, of course, a buyback clause as well. Now, moving on to another Manchester City youngster, takes us on to an update on Oscar Bobb. And he is going to stay at Manchester City this summer, according to Jack Gaughan. He says that he needs to learn from the first team, much like what we've seen from Cole Palmer. So Oscar Bobb will stay at Manchester City. He will be around the Manchester City first team squad for the whole season to learn from them, and he may get some minutes here and there as well. So good opportunity there for Oscar Bobb. Now, speaking of Cole Palmer, also got an update on him. Pep Guardiola has given a bit of clarification on his future and says that Cole Palmer now is either going to stay at Manchester City or he's going to be permanently sold this summer. They're the two options. He's not going to be loaned out by Manchester City this summer. He's either going to stay or he's going to be sold. Cole Palmer, big season for him. 21 years old, obviously doing pretty well so far this season. He'll want to really kick on this season. There's an opportunity with Riyad Mahrez leaving Manchester City's team that he could get more minutes for Manchester City, and City could save themselves in the long term here a lot of cash. But the question has to be asked, can Man City, for Cole Palmer, 21 years old, he needs to be playing on a regular basis. Can he be played on a regular basis at Manchester City, in particular with us closing in potentially on signing Jeremy Doku, which would limit the game time of Cole Palmer, you would think. And if that is the case, would it be best for Cole Palmer to leave Manchester City on a permanent basis for his own development? As I said, 21 years old, he needs to be playing on a regular basis. This is a massive decision for Man City to make. If Cole Palmer stays at Manchester City, he must be utilised. However, if he's sold, he must be replaced. So what direction are we going to go in? We could save ourselves some cash. Do we need Jeremy Doku? To me, if you're keeping Cole Palmer, we've got Bernardo Silva and you've got Phil Foden on the right-hand side. Very happy with that. On the left-hand side, you've got Jack Grealish. Phil Foden can cover over there as well, but we look a little bit short on that left wing. And should we get an injury to Jack Grealish, all of a sudden our squad looks very thin and very stretched. So what are City going to do? Interesting. Anyway, moving on, we've got the very latest on Ederson. He's been getting linked with a move to Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal, and they were interested, but Ederson has said he isn't interested in heading to Saudi Arabia as of right now. Man City are not interested in selling Ederson either, and nothing will go any further than interest from Saudi Arabia. Ederson, he stays at Manchester City. And speaking of players, and Saudi Arabia takes us on to a nice update on Aymeric Laporte. Now, a source from Saudi Arabia, which is mejo_19 on Twitter, his name's in Arabic. I don't read or understand Arabic, so I'm going to use his username here. But he's a source that I've not seen. He's a source that I've not heard of before. But he says that Laporte's deal's worth 20 million euros, looking at around 16 million pounds, which is an outrageous number for Aymeric Laporte. Laporte is worth, to me, 3 times that value. For 16 million quid, how on earth is there not interest from all over Europe in Aymeric Laporte? Because this number's been put out there, the interest has shot up. And one thing I'm keeping my eye on is Real Madrid. They've had a serious injury to Eder Militao, who is their left side centre-back. Aymeric Laporte, a Spanish international homegrown player for them, could be of interest. But for me, Man City accepting £16 million for Aymeric Laporte, what is going on there? Anyway, moving on to the ins, we've got the very latest on Dani Olmo, and Di Marzio has said that Manchester City, they're trying to understand how feasible it would be to go and sign Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig this summer. Leipzig are believed to be asking for 80 to 100 million euros. Manchester City monitoring the situation, Not too sure on the fee, so aren't making a move, and it isn't moving from interest as of yet. But yeah, we could be dealing with RB Leipzig again. It's not like we've had to deal with them for 2 months with the Joško Gvardiol deal, but there we go. Now, to me, my opinion, Dani Olmo would be a cracking understudy to Kevin De Bruyne. He would be a brilliant replacement for him for the 4 months that he is out injured. He would be a cracking addition to Manchester City in terms of a creative point of view in midfield. He would free up the rest of the Manchester City attacking players as well. To me, this is a deal that makes complete sense. But with that fee, is it feasible for Manchester City? That is the big question. Now, moving on to Jeremy Doku, the latest on him. Jack Gaughan says that Jeremy Doku still believes he will get his move to Manchester City despite interest coming in from West Ham. Remember, a lot does depend here on what Man City choose to do with Cole Palmer. And with Cole Palmer, he could end up at West Ham, so a lot does depend on maybe what happens with Lucas Paqueta. And speaking of Lucas Paqueta, got the latest on him, and Jack Gaughan says that just like with Jeremy Doku, Paqueta is confident that he's going to get his move to Manchester City this summer. He says, Jack Gaughan he says that if Manchester City do fail in getting Doku or Paqueta, then Pep Guardiola, not only with Cole Palmer, also wants to utilise Hilal and Alvarez in getting more minutes for Manchester City. It would come in a deeper role that would see him play between the number 8 and the number 10, which is pretty much playing behind the striker when attacking, and when defending, tracking back, helping in midfield and helping out defensively as well, which Hilal and Alvarez, to me, that would be a really good solution for Manchester City to try and get him more minutes and more game time as well. What are Man City going to do? Certainly a very interesting end to this transfer window. So if you want to stay up to date first and fast every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news here on YouTube, do subscribe to my channel. It is free. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. TikTok link also in the description if you want to go and follow me on there. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 400 likes is the aim. And most importantly, do let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I'm always interested in what you do have to say with regards to these transfers. And I'll see you all again tomorrow religiously for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.